Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and I'm playing what is apparently a rather nerfed skill, but I can assure you it is as thick and veiny as ever, and that is Penance Brand of Dissipation, as a rage casting berserker. So this new sort of archetype that was introduced with a hat that drops from Uber bosses, I think, but is actually very cheap and affordable on Trade League, and thus far I think not too known about, because it is very easy to set up as a rage casting Zerker, and it is pretty damn strong. So to start with, I am playing Penance Brand. I have not done Penance Brand. While it was overpowered last league, I avoided it completely because meta shit and overpowered sounds boring, and everyone else is doing it, so whatever. But this league, it got like 3 different nerfs or some shit, and supposedly is like 70% less good. So in theory, this is supposed to be about 3 times better or something if we're going back to last league. And holy shit, is this thing still insane. Penance Brand is still dealing huge amounts of damage, and it feels like something you can still do whatever the hell you want with, because it just scales really well. And then also it has just the advantage of being a brand and the brand playstyle, which is absolutely undeniably one of the strongest playstyles in the game, because all you do is chuck out a couple of brands which attach to the enemy, and then you run around and do whatever the fuck you want while you are dealing maximum damage. So compare it to my last build. I got to be up in the face of an enemy, I got to be taking damage, I got to be trying to deal damage at the same time, putting up the right amount of snapshots and war cries, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. And then compare it to this, where you just put up a couple of brands and then do whatever you want while dealing maximum damage. And you can do that to multiple targets. That's part of the craziness as well, because if you've got 2, 3, 4 bosses, you can still basically be doing maximum damage to all of them while running away. So it's pretty crazy. As you can see, the gameplay for mapping is nothing too crazy though. You do have to chuck out a couple of brands, they tick, and then slowly they gain, let's just call it penance. It's Penance Brand, we're gaining penance, and with this new one, what is happening is as the brand attaches, it kind of ramps, it gets to a higher stage. Once it's at its maximum stage, it deals more damage, more area, but to begin with, it's a bit small and ticks for nothing huge for damage wise. So then it ramps a bit and gets a bit bigger and does more, which creates a bit more of an issue for clear speed, because you have to wait either for the thing to do its damage and then snap onto the next enemy, or for the thing to do its damage and get bigger. But you can fix that with some kind of explosions in your build, which I've done with Chieftain Explosions. So I'm a Berserker, I stole the Chieftain Explosions, and as such, I now have a huge 5% chance to explode on enemies. It's not the best, most reliable explosion, but it is still one that is very effective, because it will kill everything in its path if it actually explodes near anything, and it does make clear speed a bit nicer. Realistically, you probably do better with some other more reliable explosion, like Oriath's End Flask, Crafting Grown Explosion Chest. You could also do something like Herald of Ice, Herald of Ash. You could do I tried Impulsor, but I wasn't scaling it very well at the time, so it doesn't really do much unless you actually do much more lightning damage. Scaling, you need some kind of explosions is the end story for Penance Brand. Single target wise, no explosions necessary. I don't think it matters what the fuck you do with it, as long as you're getting some kind of damage. Penance Brand will do insane stuff, but for clear, to feel better, you do need some explosions. I didn't have any throughout the entire campaign, and you're just a bit slower basically. You will still be a build without any explosions. You chuck out some brands and then just wait for things to die, but to be able to just kill a pack and move on, explosions do feel a lot better. So in the background you can see we're doing some tier 17 content. I did start tackling some T17s on this character, and they are still as uncomfortable and unfun as ever, because, well, yeah, you got yourself like some very unfun to roll maps that have some terrible modifiers, that basically at this stage just take a lot of chaos for you to roll until you have something that's kind of swallowable, and attempt and just feel bad about. I did end up doing the tier 17s that I ran, so the character can do them, can get through them, but yeah, it's still going to be up to like modifiers, and you might have to sink 20 to 50 chaos in to feel good about running a map. But Penance Brand is definitely pretty strong on the high end, so it should be able to do content like this. It's still just, I don't know. I still need to take another character through it, I think, and then I'll probably have more of a video talking about tier 17s. The take-home message here is it's doable, and some of them can look kind of cool at least, so it's not the worst situation, but some of them are still pretty oppressive and not overall the funnest to run as a piece of content. They do, however, house the Uber Fragments. I had a bit of a lag spike there. House the Uber Fragments, and you kind of have to do them if you want to kill some Ubers, or you just buy the Uber Fragments from someone else who's blasted through this type of map with the Mage Blood and overpowered character. Either way, Penance Brand, certainly a build that is capable of doing stuff like this, and got through a few of them, and once we got through a few of those, we did end up doing all kinds of other stuff, a few victory laps in the form of Uber bosses, and there's just a bit more content here in the form of some 4-ways. So I've just been farming tier 16s and Guardians non-stop with this character, got to level 95, got a lot of Guardians down. As you can see, the playstyle, like, this is probably one of the easiest fields you'll ever see. You just chuck out brands, and then run around, and we're dealing something like 10 to 20 million DPS, and that's per target that is branded, so that's pretty crazy, just for the safety, for the nice bossing ability, and it feels a bit cheese still. It feels very OP. I actually cannot imagine how people were playing this skill last league when it was something like 3 times better. It blows my fucking mind that something that imbalanced was in the game and just allowed to exist the entire time, and it still feels kind of imbalanced given the playstyle, as you can see. So these are Ubers. So that was Uber Cortex, and this is Uber Shaper. These are my first Ubers of the league. I just bought the fragments real quick because they're pretty cheap, since it does take a while to build up to this type of content. So Penance Brand really strong, and so is the Rage Casting Zerker archetype. Let me go ahead and show you how I built this character and talk more about those situations. So here we are, level 95 Berserker, big boy, little toy. Something to do with Penance Brand, I think. Yeah, that's, because it's Penance Brand and everyone, calls it Penance Brand. Just a bit more fun is what it is. So it is the Dissipation version. I think that one just ramps more, like I said, turns into bigger AoE, and we are using this Rage Caster helmet. So gain either 10, it goes from 10 to 15 rage after spending a total of 200 mana. By this point of the character, or like once the character's like up and rolling, the amount of rage that you have on it really barely matters. Like, you will be at 100 rage easily, and we are sustaining just by spending mana. So you don't have to like go out of your way to do anything else crazy for rage sustain. You just cast, and if you're doing something similar to me, spending mana, having mana regen, then you will just have 100 rage pretty much all the time very comfortably, because as you can see, a couple of casts here or there and you start stacking rage pretty fast, and it doesn't degen for a few seconds, so you will be at very maximum rage all of the time. And you can also use Berserk on top of this combo, but it's just for some damage taken reduction and for some attack speed. Move speed. Yeah. So as you can see, it does all of this shit. There is 100 rage in this build, and rage, the purpose of it is basically to turn all of your attack and cast speed, attack damage and cast speed into spell damage and, god damn it, attack speed and attack damage into cast speed and spell damage. Nailed it, first try. From all of the rage shit. The point of Berserker for this stuff is because you triple your rage effect. So typically, if we have 100 rage, we're getting 300 attack damage and 150 attack speed. And instead, with this 100 rage, we're then getting cast speed and spell damage. And That's enough for a character to basically be entirely based around that. Like, that's all the damage and cast speed you'll probably need in an entire build. And if you really want beyond that point, getting 100 rage, you can just build your entire character for pure other stuff, like, you know, defensiveness, life, energy shield, whatever you want to be, crit multi, or you can go like a non-crit base as well. Like this hat with the 100 rage that you get from getting rage here, rage there, and berserker is enough of a base for basically all the damage you probably need for a lot of strong skills out there. My character at the moment does still scale a bit more damage. It does have some sort of utility and defensiveness, and brands seem to make sense because A, Penance Brand still seems strong and no one else is playing it, and B, we wear this belt for 20 extra rage, and then also it gives 6 damage per 10 rage, so fizz damage, sorry. So I just thought, oh, what still scales fizz damage? And yeah, that's kind of the conclusion. But you really don't have to do anything fizz based. I mean, 60 extra fizz damage for that 100 rage ain't shit at the end of the day, so it's kind of whatever. The 20 extra rage, every 20 extra rage you're looking at, you're thinking 60 spell damage, 30 cast speed. Like, is that worth? Yeah, it might be. You don't necessarily have to do this, though. You don't actually have to do this either. 60 rage by itself will actually still be pretty damn good if you're a Zerker base with this hat. So overall, yeah, the hat is insane. I think it's a nice template for almost any sort of spellcaster if you want it to be, because Berserker gets all that extra damage doing this, but then you also get 40% more damage, and then we also still get, for this node here, a little bit of extra crit multi, and physical damage, but you can instead do like this defensive armor thing, which maybe does something. I don't know, it looks confusing and weird and scary, so I didn't do that. So we are based around Rage, we are Penance Brand, and then the rest of the characters built kind of like a normal spell caster, except for the Rage Axe. So the Rage Axe gives us, like I said, that like 60 and 30 spell damage and cast speed. It's kind of worth it. I built it like this in the end. So you put a Conqueror, any sort of influence orb on it, and then reroll it to Shaper using the Harvest Bench, and then you try and get Fizz's Code while spamming with spell lining essences. And then it does this and gives you 20 rage, and it's an okay item. But realistically, I think just a really big wand is going to be a bit better, because I'm missing, you know, spell damage, some extra cast speed, all good stuff like plus gem levels that a wand could offer if it's a really big wand, versus 20 rage, which really isn't that worth it. But I went down this route for more rage, and here we are. So it's fine, we can still do that. But if you've got access to a really nice wand, do that instead. I'd say it's just going to give more damage and a more comfortable playstyle with even more cast speed. So the rest is just, yep, some life regen, some armor, and energy shield. I tried to get a little bit of an energy shield buffer so I could take some more damage initially when things are hitting me. I picked up a triple fracture sort of amulet for 3 divines, and then crafted cast speed on it and mana, which, you know, nice league and all that. So yeah, 3 divines for triple fracture, but what we're looking for is basically +1, some crit multi. You will find amulets out there that have those types of stuff. And then yeah, some mana regen helps for my mana sustain. Picked up a fracture here and then crafted it with greed essences until I got ailment avoid, because I tried to become ailment immune with the same boots from the previous character. And then I tried to convert a bit of extra fizz to lightning here. And I was also trying to convert fizz to lightning as the implicit, but the essence things were pretty expensive, and I got to cold and I just left it as cold, because converting some damage to cold and just freezing enemies is actually pretty nice in this build too. So we do freeze enemies with this, and also Taste of Hate, and it is a pretty big defensive buff throughout your mapping. And then, of course, the classic Mark of the Shaper situation here. In the end, I am a Berserker. I am a spellcaster. Nothing too thick, but I die very rarely, and the playstyle is pretty good. Like, I do have some defensiveness here, and we have a very strong setup of Call to Arms. So Enduring Cry, Increased Duration, and Call to Arms, when you actually activate that, it's going to pop a Call to Arms Enduring Cry autopilot every couple of seconds, and every 4 seconds, I think it is. Let's have a quick look. 3.98, yep, so every 4 seconds. And I've also got custom damage taken Immortal Call over here. So when things do come hit me, this procs as well. And then Enduring Cries probably going to pop off some more endurance charges pretty soon. And we've also got that huge extra regen and damage reduction buff from the Enduring Cry. So this setup is actually really nice in pretty much every build, I'd say, and it seems like a pretty OP thing to be coming out of this patch, especially if you spec into some stuff like this. So we got 4 points here for the cooldown recovery, and then war cries have a minimum power, so that's why we get endurance charges. And then we also spec into this, so that when you war cry you get onslaught, and then also this, so that when we war cry we'll sometimes get frenzy and power charges, and that will work better when we're near bosses and stuff. So this setup easily helps keep me alive a lot, and means that I actually rarely died on this character throughout some pretty thick content. And also, of course, Penance Brand. Very strong. So that's how we helped stay alive as a Berserker. Other than that, I've got Zealotry and Wrath reserved. I've got Frostblink on Arcane Surge, but I'm also using Arcane Surge in my main links, so that's extra damage, and then also a bunch more mana regen, which I've spec'd into over there as well. My links are otherwise Crit Strikes, Conk Effect, which is usually faster casting while mapping. Conk Effect is just for bossing. And then Crit Damage and Lightning Pen. Shield Charge, Assassin Mark, Clarity, Fast Cast. So I do Assassin Mark myself. And then I've also got, first time I've ever used it, Curse Ground support with Ellie Weakness and Area. So I just do a Curse Ground, which for some content is pretty nice. You know, Abysses keep spewing out mobs and you're just constantly cursing them, so that's nice. Bosses that just spawn, you pre-fire this thing. It's entirely a choice if you want to do this, but I thought I'd try it out for the first time, and it's kind of nice in some content. It's got its pros and cons, of course. And then, yeah, over here is just custom damage taken with Ball Lightning, Immortal Call, and Knockback. So we just push things back sometimes with that Ball Lightning when we get hit when they're close to you. And yeah, I think that's about it. Lethal Pride, just for a bit of extra damage, 5% double, 5% double. I've got Glancing Blows and stuff over here, take a bit of extra damage. I used a Watcher's Eye that gives Fizz as lightning, and then crit with Zealotry. Yeah, some Fizz damage and stuff, whatever. And then the 2 Chieftain Explode Jewels, which at the time that I bought them were 3 or 4 Divines total. And the total I put into this character is about 20 Divines. I'd say 20 Divines will give you a very respectable Penance Brand at the moment, though more investment would do more, and you can build it in many different ways, as far as I can tell. But Rage Casting Zerker, pretty nice way of building things at the moment, I'd say. And yeah, of course, Energy Blade or Inquisitors, etc. All that is going to be pretty damn good. Tricksters as well. Seems to me like Penance Brand is still very, very strong and pretty damn versatile. All that said, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the character in the video and all that. The content it did was pretty damn cruisy. It blasted through maps, it blasted through bosses, and it barely managed tier 17s. Yeah, I'm probably going to move on, make another build from here on out, and keep this one geared, because this is probably my boss killer for the league. It's just that freaking smooth. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time.